Hello everyone, this is Jyothi Nagaprasanna here again with another speaking test questions which appeared in one of the countries of late. I have chosen the questions from all the three parts and some of them are new topics. I hope it will be useful to you. In today's speaking test, in part 1 section, I have chosen topics such as headphones and traffic problems. In the original speaking test, in part 1, you would be asked approximately around 8 to 10 questions, which would last around 4 to 5 minutes. And they would be asking you questions related to any of the topics in your daily life. It could be anything and everything. Now, one basic tip what I would like to give is you need to go on speaking. Try not to stammer, and also try not to use fillers. Most importantly, when you are answering questions for part 1 and part 3 especially, try avoiding yes and no. Instead of that, use the synonyms like definitely, certainly, I guess so, so on and so forth. Okay, let's begin. Do you use headphones? Or do you use headphones as it is a part of my work curriculum? I work as a trainer and I do use my headphones to listen to the audios of my students to assess them and give feedback. What type of headphones do you use? I use closed back headphones as I don't want to be distracted by any kind of noise. As I mentioned in my previous question, I mostly use headphones to listen to my students' assignments. When I prefer to listen to music from my smartphone, I prefer to use earbuds. When would you use headphone? I have no limitations and time frames to use the headphone. I usually use it during my work hours or my earbuds to listen to music. In what conditions you won't use headphones? I don't fancy using my headphones while watching a movie on television or DVD. I prefer speakers for the same. And also, I do not use headphones while driving, as it distracts my driving and it could also lead to accidents. How do traffic problems affect you? Traffic congestions are bottlenecks in Bangalore, especially during peak hours. It takes a toll on me, especially during the mornings when I'm running late to work. What traffic problems are there in your area? In the city I live in, Bangalore, we face frequent traffic jams, especially during the rush hours. If I talk about my residential hub where I live, the only traffic problem one can face is lack of public transport, and one has to commute with his or her private vehicle. How do most of the people travel to work where you live? Most of the people in Bangalore commute to work in different means of transport. Some prefer their own vehicles, some prefer to use public transport such as bus or metro rail, and some health conscious people use bicycles. What is the most popular means of transportation in your country? In India, you can find road, rail and air the most popular means of transportation, and in the coastal regions, people also use water transport. In the real test, you would be handed over the question on a piece of paper and you would be given 1 minute to prepare for the question, where I can say that you can brainstorm the ideas, especially where you have the WH word question. So, say for example, now the question what I have taken is, describe a time when you were friendly to someone you didn't like. You should say when and where it happened, who he or she was, why you have had to be friendly, and explain how you felt about it later. Okay, so here you have when, who, why. For these you can brainstorm as when and where. So the place, I have taken high school, who and she was classmates. Why you had to be friendly? Because I had to see her face on a daily basis. right? So here you got 3 ideas and you try to develop the same when you are speaking. And especially when it comes to the cue card round, you need to narrate it like a story. And in speaking, if you can use idioms and phrases accordingly, it will definitely boost your scores. Thank you. And the question, as I mentioned, I have taken is, describe a time when you were friendly to someone you didn't like. You should say when and where it happened, who he or she was, why you had to be friendly, and explain how you felt about it later. As a person, I usually gel with anyone and everyone very quickly, irrespective of the age of the person, be it elderly people, youngsters, or toddlers. I can also say that I have a weakness that if I take a dislike for any person, I do not like to mingle with him or her at any point of time, then I would never even turn back to look at that person. So there have been incidences when I had to be very cordial to people I couldn't get along with. During my school days, if I'm not wrong, I can say during my high school days, one of the girls from my class was someone whom I wanted to be aloof from. To my dismay, we were seated on the same desk and next to each other. I had to be patient enough to tolerate her tantrums. We being classmates and benchmates, I had to put up with a plastic smile on my face and be quite polite with her, though I felt like grunting at her actions. As I mentioned earlier, once I take a dislike for a person, be it he or she is good, kind-hearted for me, she or he will always be in my bad books. During my school days, we were immature, and now my classmate and I, with whom I did not have a good relationship with, have a cordial relationship now, and whenever we meet, we exchange greetings. Be very careful and remember to, when you're answering, try to use phrases and avoid using yes and no, as I mentioned in the part 1 section. So coming to the questions related to being friendly, do you think it's essential to be friendly? As far as I'm concerned, I can say that being friendly to a person depends on the circumstances and situations an individual comes across. What kinds of people are usually friendly? I am usually friendly to the people who like my company for my personality and for the person I am. What are the differences between being friendly and being polite? This is a difficult question to answer. Let me think for a moment. Both friendliness and politeness have their own weightage. Now, if you're friendly, that means you're warm and approachable. If you're polite, you're trying to be well-mannered, civilized, and polished. Why are people friendly with people they do not like? Situations and circumstances create friendly surroundings among the people you are displeased with. What do you think of the people who are always straightforward? I appreciate people who are outspoken as they do not have any guilt feelings in their heart. Is it necessary to behave in a friendly way in the professional life? Without any hesitation, I can say that one needs to be polite in professional life and diplomatic and not necessarily friendly with his or her colleagues. Do friendly people achieve more in your opinion? From my point of view, I can say that it depends on many factors. A friendly person can succeed, and an introvert also can succeed. So as I mentioned, it again depends on the circumstances and situations and various reasons. Some people can pretend to be friendly when they are not. Does it feel familiar to you? It does ring a bell. I can get to know if one is faking friendliness or being genuine from his or her body language. Thank you.